Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have officially given birth to my little baby. For those who may not know, I am now hitting my 7 weeks postpartum. I wanted to kind of share my birth story since I know a lot of you guys were curious as to what exactly happened, since I was supposed to give birth actually right here at home, but ended up having to go to the hospital just due to an emergency. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I'll also share with you guys some clips and some videos and pictures so you guys can see exactly what had happened and kind of get an inside look of some raw footage of my birth. So let's get started. Start in the beginning. I actually started to get contractions on Sunday, which was November 21st at 5 in the morning. I ended up calling my doula to come and kind of check me and see if I was dilating or if this was false contractions, just because I really wasn't sure. She ended up arriving around 8 in the morning and let me know that I was at 2 centimeters. So I wasn't obviously fully dilated. She kind of told me to relax, take it easy, to rest as much as possible because I'm gonna need as much energy for the birth of my baby, obviously. So that day I pretty much took it easy. I just let each contraction just come as it did. And my husband and my sister Stephanie were helping me out, supporting me as I was getting the contractions. Here is a video of me while I was getting a contraction and the support of my sister Steph and my husband. Oh. The first couple of hours, I felt that it was getting a little bit more intense when it came to my contractions. My doula said that she was gonna arrive around 4 in the afternoon to kind of check to see if I was dilated even more, if I had even progressed. When she did arrive, I was actually still at 2 centimeters. So after a couple of hours, I was not dilated as much as I thought I would be. She had advised that we do the exercise of putting the peanut ball right between your legs in order to kind of help your cervix open up a little bit more. So we ended up doing that. So here is a picture and a video with my doula while I was trying out the peanut ball.
So the cervix is thin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's really thin. It just has to open now. So you have to think about it like if you...
After that, I did that for actually a couple of hours using the peanut ball. And then my doula had to leave. So that day I ended up having to take like 4 showers. I just remember because it was like so soothing to shower. So after that last shower, I just remember that I was in so much pain. My contractions were getting a little bit more intense. So at that point, I remember that I just did not want anybody to touch me anymore. I didn't want anybody's support. So I just kind of like wanted to have everybody just kind of leave me alone at that point. My husband had to text my midwife and my doula to kind of let them know where I was at, where I got to that stage where I just didn't want anybody to touch me, anybody to talk to me. That's when my midwife ended up coming over to my house. This was at 8 p.m. Same day, the 21st. She kind of checked where I was at to see if I was dilated even more. I was dilated to 8 centimeters finally. So at 8 p.m. I was at 8 centimeters. So we're kind of advancing at that point. My husband started getting things kind of ready, like the bathtub, the water. He started setting it up right here. These are some photos that I wanted to share with you guys as well. While I was in the bathtub, luckily my doula is a photographer as well, so she was able to take some pictures of my experience at home, my birth at home. So here is that. After a couple of hours, I ended up getting checked again, and then my midwife had let me know that I was at 9 centimeters. This was actually a couple hours later. This was like maybe around 2 in the morning already the next day. I had thought that I would be at 10 centimeters, but I had no urgency to push. I was not at 10 centimeters. So at that point, we were kind of just waiting for that last centimeter to kind of come, like pretty quick. But unfortunately, I was stuck at 9 centimeters for quite some time. The contractions that I was getting at that point when I was at 9 centimeters, it was kind of like my stomach was contracting, but it was stuck. Like it was just contracting. And my midwife, she was a little bit concerned about that just because it wasn't kind of like easing out. It was just still contracting at that point. And then suddenly I started getting some pain on my bottom left of my stomach, on my abdomen. And so I was getting the contraction pain as well as this abdomen. It almost felt like a cramp, but not really. It was just a little bit more intense because I just felt like I couldn't breathe and the pain was so sharp. It was under my stomach. I'm sorry. It was on my abdomen coming to my back and it felt so painful. I just remember I couldn't breathe. It hurt anytime that I was like moving. And I just remember asking my midwife, what is this? Like, I really don't know what this is. And I was kind of like, what is happening to me? I can barely breathe. Luckily, I was able to record everything, but I won't show that part of my birth with you guys because it's kind of dramatic. I was more like, what's happening? And like, I just remember saying like, it's hurting, like I can't breathe, like somebody help me. And my midwife was like telling me that she didn't really know what it was, what the pain was. Obviously, she didn't have an ultrasound around to like pretty much check me. I was in so much pain that I just really wanted to go. Like I wanted to go to the hospital. Like I did not want to feel any more of that pain as well as the pain in my contractions. So I just was like, I need to leave. Like I want to go to the hospital. I don't want to be here anymore. And everybody was kind of like telling me like, we cannot leave. Like you can't leave. Like you're going to have this baby in the car. And I was just like wobbling my way down the stairs, like towards the car. And I was just like, I honestly don't care. Like I'm leaving to the hospital one way or another. And so my husband was upstairs. He was packing everything up like a hospital bag. Obviously, we didn't have it prepared because we were going to give birth at home. So he was kind of doing that while I was making my way to the car. When we officially got there, obviously I didn't have the baby in the car, but when we officially got to the hospital, we got to labor and delivery about 30 minutes in. After they did my check-in, my blood work and everything, I ended up getting that epidural and I was so happy. Honestly, like I remember getting jello and I was so calm. Like I felt so at ease, like all that pain that I was feeling, like from my contractions to the cramp to the irritation, everything, it was just like gone. And I was just like, oh, you know, like I could finally breathe. And I wouldn't take it back when it comes to giving birth at home because it was nice to have that experience of not having any interruptions as well as nobody kind of pressuring me to do anything or checking my cervix anytime. Like I was the one kind of letting my midwife know like, hey, can you check me? Or she would ask me like, do you want me to check you? And I could easily say no or yes, you know? Like I was just able to experience that birth at home. Like I was able to feel the contractions. I felt so good afterwards that I felt so empowered that I was able to maintain myself at 9 centimeters with contractions and everything, with that pain, endure that pain, and actually tell myself that I could do it. If it wasn't for that irritation, I think I would have, you know, given birth here at home in the bathtub or wherever. But unfortunately, just because of that irritation or that cramp that I got, and I just felt like I couldn't breathe, I was just like done at that point. And so once back to the story, girl, because my mom went from 1 to 100 real fast. But after that, we got to the hospital and I ended up being at 9 centimeters for quite some time at the hospital still. I think it was because I received the epidural, and obviously when you receive the epidural, the drug is kind of like affecting the way that you're contracting at that point, and your cervix, or I'm not sure, it kind of like bothers it. I know that for sure, but I was okay with it because obviously I had an epidural and I wasn't feeling any pain, so I was like okay with it. But once I got to 10 centimeters, I ended up having to push this baby out for at least 4 to 5 hours. He did not want to come out. Like he literally said, baby girl, I love this womb. Like I want to stay nice and warm and cozy, which, you know, I love him so much, but I was just like, baby, you got to come out. You know what I'm saying? I remember that so many people were helping me at the hospital. I was so appreciative of everybody respecting me and my space at the hospital. Me and Ryan were talking about that. Like we really liked the experience at the hospital. So after that, after pushing for 4 to 5 hours, baby Samuel finally came out. So this is actually a video of baby Samuel and me at the hospital.
Good job. You gotta have him look at his head.
Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Hey, you gonna cut the floor? Hey.
Okay, you can hold him for just a second now. I do need to take him over because he's got, you can look right here, Mom. You can see the skull flowing. We need to check that out. Right there?
So yeah, baby Samuel came out at 8 pounds and 9 ounces, and he was 22 inches long, almost 2 feet. So he was a very big baby. No wonder he almost did not come out, but luckily he came out super healthy, super cute. I kind of wanted to share with you guys why I named baby Samuel as well. So Samuel actually came, obviously it's in the Bible, but the reason why I gave Samuel his name Samuel, we named him after my dad. For those of you who do not know my dad, which is a lot of you guys, he is honestly one of the best human beings in the world. Like, his heart is so pure. He raised me since I was like a young little girl. And honestly, we're not blood related, and still yet he's literally my father. Like, he's the best dad, honestly. And he sacrificed himself for all of us, all of his 7 children, as well as my mom. So that's where Samuel came out of. And then we named him RJ, which is Ryan Jr., because that's my husband's name. And then we also named him his last name, which is our family name, which is Kingdom. So his name is Samuel RJ Kingdom. So that's where his name came out of. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I don't want anybody to be scared by my experience and how my experience didn't go as planned to have the baby at home. But I will say, if I didn't have that irritation, I obviously would have had the baby at home. But you know, everybody's experience is completely different. I hope you have a wonderful experience. I would honestly recommend it just because I love having a midwife. I loved having my doula. Having a midwife is honestly the best thing. I would say better than having an OBGYN, just because she would come to my house even after postpartum to double check to make sure that I was okay and the baby was okay when we got home from the hospital, which obviously your OBGYN doctor won't come to your house to check on you. But she definitely did, and we were able to have that connection as well. And I feel super lucky and blessed to have met them and have the ability to have had the experience here at home. Only God knows why the things happened the way that they happened. And honestly, in the beginning, I was very upset because I couldn't have him here at home. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Things happen and life goes on. And it is what it is. The baby is here and healthy. I'm healthy and I'm happy. And that's all that matters. So yes, that is my story. I hope my experience doesn't frighten anybody, but instead encourages everybody, because we as women are powerful. I am so in awe of how strong we are as women, honestly. We are capable of having a child, and as well as breastfeeding and taking care of the baby. Honestly, it's insane. I'm super appreciative of my sister Stephanie for helping me out the entire time as well, and my mom as well. I know that it was not easy, and of course my beautiful husband who loves our baby. There is a lot of content coming up just because there's a lot of things that happened to me during my pregnancy. You know, we've kind of been a little busy having a baby, but that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so you guys know when I am posting again. Don't forget, you guys, to love and forgive each other as He does us. Bye. Okay. Bye for real.